Right, this video is all about when you start pulling your handbrake, you notice it goes up a little bit more before it catches. Something's wrong. Right, it could be something like half of the cables, so one of the cables I should say, going to one of the rear or front brake pads that's meant to be clamping on the parking brake is flayed, broken, snapped off, and leaving you with only one. So your parking brake or your handbrake is not as effective. It's slipping a bit, so I'm dreading that. So normally it's about here where my hand is. It's gone another inch. So you got to basically jack up the rear or the front, wherever the handbrake is, and have a look. So it could be that it just needs a bit of oil, or it could be major damage, you know, like a snap cable where I'll have to replace the cable really. Alright, so let's get up on the ramp. I do use these ramp extenders. They help to get up on the ramp on wet days, otherwise it would just slip backwards or forwards, whichever way you're going. So it's nicely ramped up, nice and square on there. A couple of inches to the right, a couple of inches to the right, centre of gravity in the middle. It should be okay. Right, put it in the gear. Probably I'm going to put it in forward gear. Make sure also it sits square on there. It's square on there, so it's not going to roll forwards. Square on. Right, let's have a look. Get a torch. So I'm going to be releasing handbrake in a minute, but let's have a look what it looks like before I release. So here it is. There it is. Let's have a little wiggle. Alright, so I can't exactly see what it's doing. Let's say it's aligned with that nut on this side, into that cable. There's tension now, I can feel it. This side, on this side. Again, it's aligned with that nut. I feel it's exactly the same tension now, though this underneath is, you know, see that? It's like a solid, very, very solid plastic. So I'm not going to be able to tell if the cable snapped. That one looks straighter. See that? Pulls straight back. Whereas this is a little bit at an angle. I just wonder if it's this one that snapped off, because it is at an angle. Right, let's see. So this one is just on this back edge of the nut, and this one is pulled a little bit further than the back edge of the nut. I wonder if it's this one. Then change your mind. This one's pulling further. If it was snapped, obviously it would be back here somewhere. That would not have moved. But let's release the handbrake. You know, let's have a look. Handbrake's on. Look, it's square on it. It's not going anywhere. I'm not on any particular slope today. Right, I hope I can see this. This is the right hand side. I've got a little bit of light and I think I'm pointing at it. I'm going to pull the handbrake on and off. I haven't done anything yet, like oiling. So in a second here, the handbrake. Let's see visually what's going on. Right, let's find out what's going on left side now. On, 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 So that was the left side. It's the left hand side. Hopefully I've got enough light on it. Just using contact spray. I haven't got any WD-40. WD-40 is preferable. So let's get some obviously in this cable first. It's the mechanism behind. So don't worry about that Don't worry about the brake disc being coated with oil. Get loads of it on. This mechanism here is this one here, is the turning one. This is a cable and then it goes to lever. It's this one that can get stuck. Get some on that spring as well. I like metal springs to be oiled for some reason. I think it lasts longer. Right, let's pull it now and see what happens. On, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Right, hopefully you saw that. Hopefully it made a difference because I can't tell what's going on. I can't see what's going on when I'm pulling the handbrake. So, I don't think I've even changed shots on this, so let's do this side. On the right side. And you have that little straw. Get it on that mechanism. From top above the exhaust, absolutely inundate it with it. Right, let's pull this one, see what happens. Finally back on. Well, I will need to view the footages before I carry on figuring out what to do on this. So I'll have to take it, put it on the computer, have a look to see how these things are moving, right? When I'm doing it on off things, with oil, without oil. Alright, get back to you. Right, so let's try and release this handbrake cable. It should be wedgeable. You see how easy it is to push in. I've released the tension on there. It's quite easy now. Look, there it is, easy as that. I didn't even have to shift it. See that? Came straight off with the handbrake off. Give it a tug. Have a feel for it. Do you feel, what do you feel? It feels like it's moving in a nicely oiled I don't know how well I captured that. Anyway, that with the handbrake cable off, that just slides right off. See that? It just slides right off. And I'm just going to test the other side, the right hand side, because this is the one where I think the fault is. I'm going to test the right hand side to see if it's right. On the other side, my apologies, this is the right side. On the left side, it was somewhat harder to take off. In fact, I never managed it. I needed to end up using my my pry bar if I really wanted to get it off, but I'm not. This one, I just pulled it and it came off. So the suspect, and also that on the other side, this thing here was shifting on that left side of the car. I can't shift this with my hand. That's where the problem is. It's this. It's a stuck arm. So it's time for wiggle factor to come in now. The cable feels fine, which is good. I'm happy about that. But this does not feel fine. That's stuck. Even though I've oiled it up this morning, it's still stuck. So it's time to get the pliers out and do wiggle factor on it. I call it wiggle factor. Basically wiggle it. Okay. maybe you get this. Maybe I moved it to a better angle. So wiggle factor, basically wheel it up again. Sometimes mechanics is like this. It's a bit kind of low IQ stuff really. So we know that it's stuck. It should be moving by itself nicely. It's not, so you wiggle it backwards and forwards until it's behaving itself. I need a bigger pair of pliers or a better angle. Anyway, I might have to move the camera out of the way because it's right in the way. No, I need a better pair of pliers. Maybe the channel locks or something. Let's try channel locks. Hopefully I've again lined the camera up at the right angle so you can see it. So here it is. Channel locks. I need to get leverage on this thing. Just a bit of rust maybe holding it back. I can wiggle this and it becomes a situation where it moves freely. There we go, I've got a bit of a movement on that. Hopefully, I mean that moved and didn't spring back. I wonder if it's like a broken spring, which would not be good. I'm having a real job here, aren't I? Will not clamp on it. Wonder why. It does not want to clamp. It's the camera in the way, I tell you. Things I do make my job a lot harder. Right, that function is more normal now. It's pulling right back, and if I used a pair of pliers, it behaved itself. It springs forward as well, so I can do both. So it's returning back to its neutral position. There you go, it's moving properly now. But no, there's no bottom view on that. Right, the function has returned to normal after heapous amounts of, that's such a word, of oil. So now I've just got to wedge it in and put this back in. It almost fits like that. So just a little bit of nudging would do it. Hopefully you'll capture this. Some tools I've got are really good, some tools are just really rubbish. Pull it back. Boy, I had it there. The more I put it back, the easier it becomes. Now, because it's done properly, now because the spring is on, working properly, it's not going to give me that ease of disconnect. Now look at it. See how tight that is now. I can't easily take that off. Whereas before I just pulled it and it came straight off. Right, I think, fingers crossed, the brakes are normal. I think they've still got wear on them, because this looks exactly the same as the other one. So halfway on there, it must kind of go across the brake caliper. Yep, should be okay. Okay, so I'm back on the slope, foot on the foot brake, gears are off. I'm about to pull this. If it was like it was this morning, it will be slipping backwards when I tug it. There's one brake, the one on the left was working, parking brake, the one on the right was not working due to stuckness. I don't know what you call it, it's not rust, it's just stuck. And wiggle factor came in, I call it wiggle factor, helped to fix it, and plenty of oil. I soaked it with oil this morning, loaded my oil this afternoon, took the handbrake cable off and then wiggled it with a very dodgy pair of tunnel locks. But look, if I let go now, look, I'm going backwards, I'm going back, look, I'm going forward a little bit, prove it. So if I let go now, foot brake goes back, okay, so I go forward, put it on, should be, it weren't as good as I thought it was. It's okay, I think it'll pass. It's not brilliant. It's much better than it was. Anyway, that's it. So sometimes the repair's not expensive, but you just have to put the work in, find out what it is, and try and fix it yourself. Save yourself hundreds, no doubt. Anyway, thanks for watching. Right, car passed the inspection test, the MOT. So now, and I think the handbrakes have embedded themselves in properly now. So hopefully I'm getting a view of the handbrake. It's not too dark. Get you a good view. So again, this is the right hand side of the vehicle. So I'm going to put it on, off, and we should see the difference in the function. Off, on, off, on, off, on. Hopefully that has captured the difference in the function. Now, whilst I was at the inspection site, it still wasn't working very well. So I was praying it was going to kick in. The work I put in, it kicked in by the time they tested it properly, and I think it just worked. So you can see that it's moving a bit more like on the left hand side of the car now, hopefully. And we'll just do one last test where I drop it back on the slope and you shall see the difference. So it is, I'll just put view, I'm going still going backwards, just view me going backwards, and I know when I get to here I'm liable to roll backwards unless of course the handbrake's on. So gear off, watch. So it feels a lot better, not so kind of giving away near the end of the pull. Now that feels much more like a normal handbrake. So foot off the foot brake. It's just about catching it there. So I could do one more and it's not slipping. It's much better feel. So let's see. It's sitting there anyway, right? You can see that. It's not slipping. Anyway, that's what it's about. You can either go and change your caliper 50, 60, 70 for like an inferior model, go for a proper one, maybe 70, 80 at Honda. Change it. Yeah, you'll have to do both at the same time probably, but you might be able to get away with one. However, or you can just do what I just did. Wiggle it, oil it, wiggle it, oil it, and it will bed itself properly. I will be having a look. It has passed the inspection. I will have a look at those brakes at some point, taking them apart and probably changing the brake pads because they look a bit old, and it could be the cause or making it worse with this kind of slippage. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's all about saving money, guys. It's all about saving money and doing it yourself and making sure it's done properly. Anyway, thanks for watching.